And welcome to section 5 of the course, where we finally get into the nitty-gritty of price action setup. So actually buying and selling based off the charts and the price action. Before we were talking about mostly theory and philosophy. And so now we're actually going to get into the tactics. And we're going to kick off by talking about this concept of market lens. So there's more than one way to skin the cat in the market, and you'll see tons of technical systems out there. And none of them are necessarily right or wrong. They can all work. It really depends on what you believe in, what you like to use, and obviously it has to have an edge at the end of the day. But we've seen traders use all sorts of different techniques to trade profitably in the market. It really comes down to what you like the best and what works for you. So we're not trying to pigeonhole anyone into a particular method, but we are going to look into the method that we like to use, which is classical chart patterns to organize price action. And we do that because we feel like they're very robust and simple. They've been around for a long, long time. They're not overly optimized. It's not extremely technical and complicated. It keeps the charts simple. And they've been used successfully since the days of Livermore all the way till traders today that still trade the markets extremely successfully using classical chart patterns. Now here are a couple points about classical charting, just the reality of the matter. Again, we don't want to say that anything is a crystal ball or a panacea. And a lot of these points come from Peter Brandt, which is probably one of the more famous classical chartists of today. And these are all great points because it keeps you in line with the fact that there is no panacea in the market, and there's not going to be 100% win rates. So let's just go through a few of these real quick. Most chart formations fail and morph into other patterns, which in turn fail and morph again. So this is consistent with our Sturgeon's law concept that most patterns we see aren't going to work out, and they're most likely noise. Charting cannot be used to understand a given market at all times. So there's going to be times where your technical method or price action system won't work on a particular market, and that's okay. None of these things are absolutely perfect. Major moves can occur without any clue from the charts. Charts are not predictive. They're a map of where markets have been, not a map of where they are going. So we've talked about that in the predictions versus possibilities lecture. Charts are a trading tool. They're meant to identify inflection points where price has high potential to generate asymmetrically skewed trades. And finally, charts define risk and targets. So when we're looking at classical charting, these are the key takeaways and the value adds we want to get from them, as well as the things to watch out for. So they're not a panacea, they're not a magic crystal ball, but they can really help us define our risks, define our targets, and create actionable trading setups.